Okay, so if you can't tell, we're in Missouri, and I have been waiting to see if this was going to ever wrap up, and it did. And this is where we're at. Missouri AG wants to remove sheriff accused of gang activity from office. Iron County Sheriff Jeff Burkett, 2 deputies, and a citizen were charged in March with crimes related to a kidnapping plot. Now, this is from June 8th, 2023. We're going to let this play, and then we'll go from there.
Si usted o ser querido se convierte en víctima de
Because there's no
violento en
point.
Carolina del Norte, la oficina de
Missouri's Attorney General says he wants to remove the Iron County Sheriff from office. He's charged with multiple crimes tied to a parental kidnapping plot. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
I'm Kelly Jackson. Sheriff Jeff Burkett, 2 of his deputies, and a citizen were charged in March. Their charges against them range from gang activities to misusing 911, stalking, and more. And tonight, Christine Byers spoke with the Attorney General, Andrew Bailey, about his push to remove Burkett from office.
The allegations against Sheriff Burkett are shocking, but at this point, that's all they are, allegations. But Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey says he's already seen enough evidence in this case to try and forcibly remove the sheriff from his elected position. Sheriff Burkett and 2 of his deputies were charged in March with a multitude of crimes stemming from a domestic dispute involving this man, Donald Rick Gaston, and the mother of his child. Prosecutors allege Burkett ordered his deputies to track down Gaston's child, who had run away from him with her mother. They are also accused of lying to dispatchers, claiming the child was in danger, which allowed them to ping her mother's cell phone location. Burkett's attorney, Gabe Crocker, issued a statement to 5 on Your Side Thursday, which read in part, "I am disappointed that the Attorney General's office would attempt to remove an elected official from office before any evidence has been heard in a court of law." But AG Bailey says Burkett's connection to Gaston put a victim in jeopardy.
We know that there is substantial evidence that this sheriff had weaponized his official office to conduct criminal activity on behalf of one of his friends involved in a domestic dispute, and we're going to hold him accountable.
In February, Bailey filed a similar lawsuit to remove St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner from office. She resigned before it could all go to trial. Bailey tells me he believes this case will move much quicker because criminal charges have already been filed, unlike the Gardner case. Christine Byers, 5 on Your Side.
Thank you, Christine. Stop. So, there's a little, I don't know, backstory, I guess you can call it. Then there's this. Iron County Sheriff resigns before start of his civil trial. And this one was from, I know there's a date on here, I saw it earlier. June 8th, 2023 was the first one. And this is from January 31st, 2024. Let's see what this is about.
County Sheriff Jeff Burkett is officially resigning ahead of his civil trial. You may remember last year charges were filed against Burkett and 2 other deputies. The charges ranging from street gang activity to misusing emergency services. Fox 2's Mallory Thomas is in Ironton with what's next.
Iron County has had an interim sheriff after Burkett's arrest that happened nearly a year ago. This all comes after Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey filed a quo warranto to have Burkett removed from office back in June of last year.
No, the whole quo warranto, because everything's got to be Latin, like in the medical field. It's got to be Latin and it's got to be Greek. That just means by what authority. So he has a Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, but by what authority? So they want him to explain how he has a right to hold a public office, or if it was like a corporation, by what authority do you have to hold a public office is what the quo warranto is about. But his attorneys are like, well, if he answers to this, then he might say some shit that's going to get him in trouble, so we're not really feeling that. That's how that works.
Year. A statement from Bailey's office Wednesday afternoon reading in part, Burkett abused his power and authority as an elected sheriff by encouraging other law enforcement officers to make illegal arrests and detention that he had no jurisdiction or authority, and knowing that the arrests and seizures lacked any probable cause or reasonable suspicion. Bailey goes on to say Burkett was unfit to hold office after allegedly helping Rick Gaston, an Iron County resident, with a plot to kidnap Gaston's children from their mother after a domestic dispute. Gabe Crocker represents Burkett and says in a statement, quote, "Unfortunately, due to the criminal charges Mr. Burkett faces, he was unable to take part in the quo warranto without jeopardizing his right to remain silent." He goes on to say the Missouri Attorney General takes a pathetic victory lap today by forcing a fellow Republican out of office without hearing any evidence in a criminal court. Burkett is still facing criminal charges from the original incident last year. Those charges range from knowingly participating in street gang activity, attempted kidnapping, stalking, misusing emergency services, and many others. And Crocker tells us that Burkett cannot run for re-election when his term ends later this year. In Ironton, Mallory Thomas, Fox 2 News.
Thank you, Mallory. Now, they say range from, so let's take a little look down here and see what the charges are. Burkett was charged with knowingly participating in criminal street gang activities, conspiracy to commit Class A, B, and C felonies or unclassified felony exceeding 10 years, first-degree attempted kidnapping, facilitating a felony, inflicting injury, terrorizing, first-degree accessory to stalking, second-degree stalking, obtaining criminal history record information under false pretense, misusing 911, and making a false report. He was jailed on a $500,000 cash-only bond. Now, the two deputies that were with him, Bresnahan was charged with knowingly participating in criminal street gang activity, 2 counts of conspiracy to commit Class A, B, C felonies or unclassified felony exceeding 10 years, first-degree stalking, second-degree stalking, obtaining criminal history and record information under false pretense, and misusing 911. He was jailed on a $400,000 cash-only bond. Cozad, the second deputy, was charged with knowingly participating in criminal street gang activities, 2 counts of conspiracy to commit Class A, B, C felonies or unclassified felony exceeding 10 years, first-degree accessory of stalking, second-degree accessory of stalking, and misusing 911. He was jailed on a $400,000 cash-only bond. And then the guy that they helped, Gaston, was charged with knowingly participating in criminal street gang activities, attempted parental kidnapping by detaining and concealing a child's whereabouts, conspiracy to commit Class ABC felonies or unclassified felony exceeding 10 years, first-degree stalking, second-degree stalking, and making a false report. He was jailed on a $400,000 cash-only bond. And because they kept saying charges, but they didn't want to tell you what all that shit was about. So, where are we at? Well, we are here. Former Iron County Sheriff failed to perform his duties on almost every level, state auditor says. And I'm going to go to reader mode on this one because them ads are not going to stop. It's going to take a second. Fitzpatrick audited the office after Burkett was charged in connection with an alleged parental kidnapping scheme and was forced to take administrative leave. Iron County, was it Missouri? Former Iron County Sheriff Jeffery Burkett failed to perform even the most basic accounting functions and lost seized property during his 3 years in office, Missouri State Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick said. Fitzpatrick audited the office after Burkett was charged in connection with an alleged parental kidnapping scheme and was forced to take administrative leave. Fitzpatrick said his office found Burkett failed to perform his duties as a sheriff on almost every level. Well, of course, they just said they're criminal gangs. Anyway, Burkett was elected sheriff in November of 2020. According to the audit, Burkett oversaw the office that overdrew bank accounts, lost seized property, and awarded no-bid contracts that ballooned the budgets in his less than 3 years in office. When money missing, seized property that cannot be located, mismanagement of county credit cards, and a failure to perform even the most basic accounting functions, Jeffery Burkett was a disaster as sheriff and deserved to be removed from office, even if his criminal issues were disregarded, Fitzpatrick said in a press release. According to the audit, investigators could not find 2 guns and some drug paraphernalia that was supposed to be in the sheriff's office seized property room. Well, they probably sold them for Lord knows what. They did find 3 items that were not listed anywhere. A large rock, a samurai sword, and a knife. Well, what they did was they took the guns and the drug stuff and they swapped him for this, and they traded it, and they figured they would just put that in there. And the rock, somebody brought that in, probably brought it in on their shoe, and they was like, damn, what's that? And took it and just left it. I don't know, a large rock. What does that even mean? The audit said the sheriff's office failed to keep track of its funds and ran its bond bank account as low as negative $701 and its revolving fund account down to negative $14,448. In some cases, the audit found bond money collected but never deposited into an account. So, when you have to go to court and you got to pay some money, and you pay the money, keep the receipt. Make a copy of it. Frame it. Never let go of it. Because when they lose it, because it's not put in a record, and then they look and they say, well, hey, we don't have no record of these people, put a warrant out for their arrest for bond forfeiture, and go pick them up. And then you're trying to explain, but I got a receipt. This is where we're at. Bond money collected without identifying the case associated with the payment and missing bonds. Exactly my point I was just trying to make. They don't trust it's not going on where you're local to. I'm just saying. The audit also found that the sheriff's office more than doubled its jail food spending after it awarded a no-bid contract. In 2020, the year before he took office, the contract was about $21,000. In 2021, it was $50,000, and in 2022, it was $49,000. Now, we've seen jail food. I'm just saying. It's jail food spending. Where's that money going? The full audit can be found. I looked into that, but I'm not doing that right. He originally faced multiple criminal counts, including participating knowingly in criminal street gang activities. But in June of 2024, he agreed to a plea deal. In exchange for a guilty plea, prosecutors dropped all but one of the charges, tampering or attempting to tamper with a victim in a felony prosecution. And for all he did, he was sentenced to 5 years of supervised probation. And if you think that 5 years of supervised probation means anything, it's just some words wrote on a piece of paper. They will do nothing with him. Before you know it, he'll be a damn district attorney somewhere. The 3 other men accused in the alleged kidnapping scheme are still charged. Iron County resident Donald Rick Gaston and former deputies Chase Bresnahan and Matt Cozad are all scheduled for plea trial settings between February 24th and March 24th. And I'm guessing it's going to be closer to the March 24th because I've been looking in more shit stuff and I can't find anything other than this. And this is where we're at with Burkett and all the charges you see. 5 years. They're going to supervise. They're going to supervise nothing. Zero. Again, you can't make this up. What kind of prison time would you be doing for the same charges? Just throwing that out there. So, let me know what you think about this complete dumpster fire. Like, share, subscribe. Also, again, a little time for a little harassment. 90% of people that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. I don't know what. I mean, you're sitting right there. You got your computer right in front of you. You got your phone in your hand. Click the button and, I'll shut up about it. Maybe. And let me know what you think. And I'm out.